Hello, everyone, and welcome back to When the Cookie Crumbles. I'm Susan Reddick, and I'm your host, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today because When the Cookie Crumbles is a show about real people, about real stories and real situations. Today, I have my guest, Miss Angela Davis. No, let me change that. Pastor Angela Davis, serial entrepreneur. Hey, Angela, how you doing?
Nice to be here today, and thank you for inviting me on to your show.
I'm so glad that you are here. Let's let everybody get to know. Just tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of two.
Okay.
A wife. An owner of several businesses.
Okay.
And a pastor. Over a ministry right here in Orlando, Florida. So
Well, great.
yeah.
You know what? I hate to tell you, but I know it can be tough being a pastor because I hold pastors to a higher standard. Like pastors and police officers, those are two things. Because they're in trusted positions.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that can be really tough. And I know sometimes people forget maybe that you're just a regular person too.
Absolutely.
Just a human being.
I run into that a lot. Like people try to put you in a box and say, as a pastor, what you should and should not be doing. And I'm a big person. I'm big on breaking open the box.
Yeah.
And shocking everybody. Like, not in a negative way, but in a way of, I didn't know a pastor could be a boss.
Yeah. I beat my own drum. I go to the tune of my own beat to my drum. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's good. So that's going to lead into my first question then.
Okay.
I want to know what's been a big challenge for you in being a pastor. Like, how did you get started? What was a challenge for you?
Wow. Well, we got started. It was me and my husband. We
Okay.
actually started with just me and him.
Mhm.
I was his first student. And I didn't actually see myself doing what I'm doing today or being a leader. None of that was in my vision, on my vision board. But actually, we started doing the Bible study, and then it just started going from house to house, and people started inviting us to their house, and it just started growing organically.
Yeah.
And we birthed out of the house, birthed City of Life Ministries. And when we birthed City of Life Ministries, then that's when we wind up, finding our tribe. From the Spanish community to the Black community, we saw that we had a tribe that we could build something with.
Okay.
But quickly going into it, we say, wait a minute, we don't want to repeat history. We've seen his parents, we've seen people in his family and my family be in ministry.
Yeah.
So we was like, we want to make sure we're doing it, not be based off of what someone else did, but we want to make sure we're doing it according to our assignment. And so as we began to get into it, God started revealing to us pieces of the puzzle. He never gives you the whole puzzle. He gives you little pieces at a time, and by faith, as you move forward, he'll start revealing more. And so he started revealing that our assignment was different from the other pastors. So I was immediately leaned in, okay, it's kind of scary because you're now going on grounds that nobody ever treaded upon, and just to hear him send different prophets in and say, your ministry is totally different.
Yeah, you're doing it all the way different.
Yes, people are going to talk about you, prepare, but understand your assignment. This is your assignment. This is what God wants you to do. Don't go in trying to build it their way. And when God gave us specific instructions through my own dreams, through my daughter's dreams, through my husband's dreams, confirmation after confirmation, people coming in off the street, confirming. After that, we had the confidence to run against all odds.
What I really like too is that you got a lot of young people.
Yes.
I mean, that's changing the game because, when I grew up, your parents made you come to church.
Yeah.
And then when you get 18, you're like, I ain't never going to church no more and stuff. But you got young
college
people.
students, you got the college students, you got the teenagers.
Got them up there serving, praising God, staying late. When it started getting about 1 o'clock, I started looking like, okay, now, Pastor, wrap it up now.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm impressed by that you have. It's like a safe space.
Yes.
My grandkids go there.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for that. You have given them such a safe space that they can find themselves. It's just highlight their talents.
And one of the things we do different is we make sure we don't get caught up with entertaining them.
Mm-hmm.
We get caught up with teaching, making sure we teach them, making sure they leave out of there with the why, so they can fight a good fight when they leave out of those doors, leaving out of there with application, knowing how. And so we give you a little paper. It feel like college atmosphere sometimes, they say, because we make sure you have your paper to go home with you, and in the why. And I find when they get the why, they're able to live it a little better. And
but they're dedicated too. Because I have to be honest with you now. I've been mad with you a couple times because I ask my granddaughter, I'll be like, I need you to do something. She'll be like, well, I got to ask my pastor. What you asking that for? You understand? I'm telling you I want to go somewhere.
Absolutely.
But no, but I'm so happy about what y'all are doing.
And the thing is, we get accused of that kind of stuff, but we don't never tell them they need to get permission.
No, but I do the same thing with my pastor. You are actually in the right order.
When a student gets the right teaching on why they do something, they're able to sell out for it as a soldier.
And on a serious tip, when I go to churches and stuff, or I go someplace, and I always hear people say, I've gotten permission from my pastor. Yeah. And you are, because we're underneath that ministry, and you are supposed to get permission to go in. And so the church will know. Yeah. Because you're going to say, hey, I'm here and I'm with this church or whatever. So they do need to know where you are.
Accountability.
Yeah.
We do uphold accountability because at a job, you get to have accountability. And so we just say have the same respect you would have at a business, have it at the church, Well,
I heard y'all don't take no mess over there now. I mean, no drama at that church. I mean, if it's some drama, y'all gonna settle it right there. Bring it on out to the open.
We don't have all the drama like most churches.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And everybody know that in the video. Yeah, that's good.
We have zero tolerance for gossip and all that stuff. And I think we just built a culture once you build that culture, you don't even have to come up with rules. You don't have to speak rules. They could feel the culture, and they just come in and just feel the culture. And they say, well, somebody, this is different. It's no drama and this and that. And I'm like, because if it's something that need to be dealt with, we all come to the table. We don't deal with it right at the table and be openly. And we have leaders in place. So it's not a one-man show. We have leaders who take ownership of the atmosphere and over the vision, and it becomes their vision.
So I can see you now, somebody come gossiping to you, you're going to be like, well, let's go talk to her right now. And ain't going to be no gossip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we squash all that, and we keep it like, listen, if we keep that out, we say, approach it at school. You're here not to be religious, not for titles. You're here to learn how to fight outside of those doors. That's it, And so I think that culture it set a tone for everybody, even down to the teenagers. They was like, one lady came, she was like, my God, even the children at water. I'm like, have somebody been in the military? I was like, yes, my husband been in the military. I was like, but we didn't go around saying these are the rules, But
it's just the training,
and that's we have a training,
the proper
training components in place.
And if you want to be here, and then if you want to evolve to leadership, there's certain things you need to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you know what? So you told everybody about who you are and what you do. Yes. And you know what? I can vouch for that too, because I worship with them every fifth Sunday, because we don't have church on fifth Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So I'm always with y'all in the house. Yes. And so I'm so proud of what you've done. We got so much to talk about, but let me just ask you this one question. Then, you know what? We're going to have to come back because I want to talk about your businesses that you're doing. Okay. But real quick, finish us off. If you could talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Wow, if I would tell my
so she wouldn't have to go through some of the things you done been through,
I would tell my 18-year-old self that it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. You don't have to do life by yourself. You don't have to figure out life. It's already a blueprint. You have to find that blueprint, and you have to connect with people going in the direction you're going. Mm-hmm. And anybody in the right atmosphere can thrive and flourish in the right ground. And I would tell my 18-year-old self, get into people business, because it was one time I did not do people. Mm-hmm. I did not do people because I felt like I've been hurt, so I hold on to my hurt. But when I
So you're very guarded.
trusting,
You were very guarded.
when I started trusting and realizing that's not how I need to be, I need to open up and let down my walls and let people in. It's been rewarding. I've met some beautiful relationships, and I'm so happy because my circle was like this. It was me, my husband, and my child, and nobody. I would not even be sitting here today if I stayed with those walls up.
Yeah.
Because I stayed in Orlando prior to coming back. I stayed here for 10 years and went to church, come home, and nobody knew my name. Not even nobody in my church.
Well, it's so funny because I've been coming to your church and I talk to you here and there, but I just feel like I'm meeting a new person today.
Yeah.
Because you're so relaxed, and I only see you when you're up and you're getting ready to pray.
Absolutely.
We're gonna close off here, but I just want to let y'all know a little nugget. I was at this church a couple weeks ago, and I was having a bad day. Like the old people say, my heart was heavy. I came in, my heart was heavy. And they were praying and stuff. And normally you go up to the front for prayer. But something told you that week. You was like, we ain't going to do it that way. And you just said, I'm going to pray. Yeah. And then I wasn't standing. I was all tucked behind people. And it's like she came and moved people around and found me. And put your hands on me and prayed. We put our heads together. We cried together. Yeah. Woman of God. I needed that. And I want to thank you for that. I went home, I was having some personal issues that day, but that helped me get over that bridge to the next point. And I know sometimes as a pastor, people never tell you how you help them.
Right.
But I've thought about texting you a couple of times, or going through Facebook, and I just didn't. So, I'm glad I did because I wanted to save it for face to face to let you know how profound that was for me. And I don't know how you knew.
The Holy
Spirit.
The Holy Spirit.
You knew.
Because I usually, we have a set time, and I try to tell people, we have to leave room for God to move however. And I'm like, instead of being like a traditional church, like, first, it got to be offering. It got to be tithes.
It's different.
If we don't take up tithes, y'all just need to know that you need to do your tithes and offering, because I have to make sure that my assignment is done before I leave out here, because that person might not make it back here the next day. So I'm always open to that. And so what you saw is me break the agenda, move the agenda out of the way, and I did something I normally don't do every Sunday.
Well,
and
you know what? You
walked to the back of the church.
You found me, and you grabbed my head and put my head, and I just broke down. I'm a very guarded person.
As I walked down the aisle, I sensed.
And I don't want nobody to know that I'm having a bad day. I'm always that I've got it all together. So, all right, you know what? Speaking of time, we got to make this a part 2. You know why? Because this is good. Because I want to get into your businesses. I want to get into Dream City. I want to get into CADA. I want to get into everything that you got going on, okay?
I got a lot going on.
Hey, that's good. That's why we're going to make this part 2, y'all, okay? So, Angela Davis.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, but don't you move.
Okay.
Don't you move, because we're going to make this a part 2. This is Susan Reddick, and I'm your host of When the Cookie Crumbles. And, I want to let everybody know out there, if you have a story that you think is important, that you want to get out there, if you got a business or a product or whatever it is you want to do, contact us on the Facebook page on When the Cookie Crumbles, and someone from the team will get back to you. So thanks for being with us. Join us next week for part 2 with Pastor Angela Davis. We're going to get into Dream City. Talk to you next week.